Sure does feel good right now.
And turn the page.
And turn the page, turn the page. We have turned the page, and we have been unburdened and unburdened by what has been. Oh, you all think so? We have the ability to eat fries knowing that we have freedom of speech. So it's a good day. Hello all. As you can see, I'm holding a fry. And that's very important. I like fries. We all like fries right now. When did you ever think you would see social media posts of the Amish on buggies with Trump flags helping to save America? I mean, this was... Good afternoon, all. We can breathe again. We can breathe again. We don't want to admit to ourselves how badly we have been mentally affected over the last 4 years. We have, including myself, because I can see the difference in my mindset, my perspective, even though, you know, things have not immediately changed like that, it sure feels like it has. We don't want to admit how much of a mental stupor we have been in. We have been in a depression. We have been in a psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual stupor over the last 4 years. We don't want to admit to ourselves how badly the Biden-Harris administration over the last couple of years has affected us mentally. We have been depressed. We watched our country deteriorate. We have watched a disintegration of values, of American values, core values just completely diminish over the last 4 years. When we tried over the last 4 years to speak up or have values or to think in a different way, we were called deplorables. We were called trash. We were called Nazis. We were called horrible names just for thinking differently, okay? The people who voted for Trump are women, men, people of color, people who identify as minorities, people who identify as part of the LGBTQ community. They are people from all walks of life. All walks of life. So when the liberals are getting on and they're going, this is your misogyny and white women or it's all white men, that is not true. That is not true at all. But they don't want to see that and they don't want to believe that. There have been plenty of black content creators saying, I've been struggling the last couple of years, or talking about how they feel the Biden-Harris administration has been how that has affected their values, or if it's affected Christian values, or however it has affected just core values. It doesn't have to be religious values, just core values that we should all have as Americans. And people have had enough. I think there's a huge amount to say, obviously, and it can't all go in one video. The Biden-Harris administration pushed things too far. Too far. If they had done things softer, and I don't want to give them ideas, but if they had done things softer, more of a cook the lobster type of analogy, which I think we were on for a while, maybe they could have installed the type of a change of world that they wanted. But they made things so bad. The economy, the inflation, the border crisis, how it's not safe to go out anymore, that the people have had enough. This is Dad, by the way.
Hello.
People have had enough. And there are so many people that need recognition. The Amish community is a community that I don't think we have not given enough respect to over the years, and that needs to change. They are their own community that deserves respect. They deserve a huge amount of recognition. I think his name is Pressler. They really helped us. They helped America. They realized that, I mean, there's a movie from a few years ago. It's quite an older movie. It's a movie called Sydney White, right? Sydney White with Amanda Bynes, before she went nuts. And in the movie, if you're familiar with that movie, she's running for her campus election. And they think they're talking about the olden days, and the teacher's very inspirational, the olden days of the Kennedys. And they talk about people coming together, all these different groups. And she shows in the movie the band geeks coming together and the gothic kids coming together and all of these groups coming together. That's what we did. We did. When did you ever think you would see social media posts of the Amish on buggies with Trump flags helping to save America? I mean, this was, wow. This was more than election. You don't see people on social media and TikTok reacting the way they did, crying tears of joy, tears of relief, just because your political candidate won. It's starting to raindrop. That's why it was good I brought the bag. Just because your political candidate won, the relief and the joy and the tears is because we feel that we won something bigger than just an election. We won our rights, our freedom of speech has been secured. We won our country back. We literally helped to save America. We have other countries looking at us. The UK is looking at us. Other countries that have had their freedom started to strip away are looking to us. Wow, there's so much to say, and there will be so much to say. And I want to show in this video how I went to McDonald's, and that's important because you must celebrate, okay? I know I wrote on my comments on the channel, let's just move forward, and I do mean that, but I also mean celebrate, and celebrate in a respectful way, because it's important. Because if we don't celebrate and we're only in, like, you know, go mode, we're not enjoying life. So it is very important to also celebrate this win. We have to celebrate also, because if we don't celebrate, we're taking that for granted, and that's so much what we've been fighting for. So go out, celebrate, take that deep breath, and realize that our freedom and our flag still flies. You know, a lot of commentators, you know, I think it was a coping mechanism in a sense. You know, you had Ben Shapiro and people saying, you know, the U.S. will always exist, and yes, it will exist if we hadn't won, but I don't feel that it would have been the same. You have, I felt like it would become a domino, slippery slope, where we start to lose our freedom of speech. We won in the election. We won something very big. We won our right to not have censorship, to not have the corruption that's been going on the last couple of years. We watched a past president at the time, President Trump. We watched Mar-a-Lago be raided. We watched the criminal trials. We watched the corruption of these different branches of government go after their political opponent. We watched 2 nut jobs that tried to take his life. And boy, whatever you believe in, even if it's just something up there that we don't understand, I think we can all agree something was looking out for him that day. He turned his head like this. It missed him. If he continued to turn his head, they said it would have also hit him. He was in the middle of it. Do you understand how unbelievable it is that he survived? And then the flag was over him in the form of an angel. Whatever it is you believe in, it doesn't need to be a name or a specific thing, because I don't want to ever tell someone what to believe in. That is your right, your freedom of speech, your freedom to religion. Boy, something was looking out for him. Go out and celebrate. It is so important. And for some of you that were writing on the comments where I talked about moving forward, you are correct in some of you saying that there are some that we cannot reach. And it is important to acknowledge that there are some that cannot be reached and that we should not, in a sense, turn our back to. There are also those that we can reach, those that are not lost yet. So I don't want you to heckle or make it so that we can never reach those people, because although it is so important to celebrate, and I completely am with you on that, I think it's time we celebrate a little bit. Don't you all think so? Time to celebrate. Good morning, all. Behold, McDonald's. McDonald's has fries. We like fries because, number one, we like fries, and number two, we're very happy to eat the fries because we won! Trump won the election, and we are so happy because that means we have freedom of speech and we have the ability to eat fries. We eat fries knowing that we have freedom of speech. So it's a good day. Yes. McDonald's! We are at McDonald's. I am feeling very happy because Trump won. Time to celebrate. That's Dad in the background. Fries. We like fries. And water. See, we're being healthier. Yes, we're being healthier. Yeah. Behold, a chicken sandwich and the most important element, the fry. Hello all. As you can see, I'm holding a fry. And that's very important. I like fries. We all like fries right now. Behold, a chicken sandwich and fries and another chicken sandwich and the daga. We are very happy. Say you're happy? Yes, we are happy. Because, number one, they taste very good right now and we're going to be able to afford fries again. We won, and God, does it feel good. Thank you, God, for saving this country. Sure does feel good right now. You know, I'm all for going forward, and it's important to go forward because...
And turn the page.
And turn the page. We have turned the page, and we have been unburdened and unburdened by what has been.
Well, we're working on it.
And we're working on it. We have been unburdened by what has been. And it's important to go forward because, and what do I mean by go forward? We must, in the next 4 years, work on making sure that this does not happen again by educating youth, trying to unindoctrinate the different things that Trump is going to do. Because if we don't, we will have only postponed them from coming into power. And we don't want that. We don't want a situation where we have postponed them coming into power and then they come back and we have work to do. Of course, celebrate. That's important. And if we don't celebrate, you have to have some enjoyment. You can't only be in in this fight mode. But it's important to work on the things that we need to work on, because if we don't, they will be back in 4 years. And we don't want it to be that we've only postponed them. We have a lot of work to do over the next 4 years in videos that we can make, talking to people, kind of like the work that Charlie Kirk does in trying to educate people that you've been lied to for the last 4 years, longer than that the conservatives are the problem, and there's a lot of work to be done. I am now at the great Starbucks. This is the data. And our overpriced coffee, but I had money on my app, so it's good because it's free because it was already on my app. We also must utilize the next 4 years to help continue on this path of securing free speech and to continue the wins that we have accomplished. We want to speak to the youth that will then become of voter age, the newer ones. We don't want to be divisive to these people because they will be the new set of voters. We want to help to speak to people because they are the next voters, and we want to have it where freedoms are easier to hold on to. Celebrate, but also be cognizant that we have a lot of work to do over the next 4 years. We do not want to alienate the people that we will need to come together again in 4 years. This was a wow accomplishment. We won in so many ways. We have been so burdened, over the last 4 years. And this has, in reality, been going on longer because this is a problem that it has roots in academia, where a lot of things that we do not agree with, these ideals, are being pushed onto the youth. We have truly been unburdened. And I know there's going to be memes, and we have been through so much in the last 4 years that we are entitled to gloat a little bit. Have your moment, gloat a little, try to do it in a respectful way. But after we gloat, we must also work on inspiring and coming together, where we talk to a lot of young people who may be very confused right now. There's a lot of young people out there. I've watched what they're referring to as the liberal meltdowns. And I'm human. You give a little smirk. I mean, a lot of them are not, up there. But how did they get to that point? Once we have our little laugh, we are humans. Ask yourself, how did they become that way? A lot of them, for the ones that are very young, they have personalized their own grievances that academia and different things told them it was Trump's fault. They were told it was the Republicans' fault, and they have, in a sense, been brainwashed. And we don't want to alienate them. Yes, there's going to be those that you cannot reach, but we need to try our best to reach the ones that can be reached, because we're going to need everyone to come together and have common values that freedom of speech needs to exist. I guess you really have to ask yourself, how did they become that way? How did they become that way, where they're so, I mean, they're in turmoil. They're in turmoil. I'm not laughing at that. I mean, some of their actions are just bizarre, but at the end of the day, they are in turmoil. They're in some sort of crisis. And you have to ask yourself, how did they become that way? Because people who are truly happy, I think they talked about people, like a study on the brain, people who are happy, you don't act like that when you're happy. Celebrate, but we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. I will do my best to answer everyone over the next couple days. I've been in my own turmoil, and you just can't sit down and stare at the computer and answer everyone when you're so worried about your country. But I want you to know how much I appreciate every single person who has wrote me. I want you to know that I have read all the comments, and that I acknowledge the effort, the collective effort that we all came together. We did, okay? Everyone who watched the video or commented, someone else read your comment. Then you talk to your neighbor, you talk to your friend, you talk to your coworker, you talk to your classmate, and then maybe they talk to someone else. This was a collective effort. Everyone came together. People who post on TikTok, people who post on social media, people who just talk to someone. You voted. Maybe you got one other person to vote. And we did this together. We really, check out that movie if you can, if you've never seen that movie, Sydney White. It's quite the ending of the video, how everyone came together. It's very reminiscent of what we were able to accomplish. My point is that it is so wonderful what we have been able to accomplish. Have gratitude, celebrate, gloat a little, but realize that we have a lot of work to do in the next 4 years. We don't want to alienate, because we need to be able to save democracy. I'm going to call it democracy. I know some of you are going to be like, it's a constitutional republic, but save what we view as democracy. Freedom of speech, no censorship. And we need to be able to continue those ideals into the long haul. We don't want this to be a 4-year win and then go right back. So thank you again. We did it. Trump is the president-elect. Trump will be our president. Look, iguana. Can you see the iguana? Iguana. It's a sign. And I remember, if you've seen some of those shorts of mine in the garage where I was at the mall, that little flag, someone kept taking it down and the little flag kept appearing. We won. We won, and we won. And I will see you all soon in my next video, and bye! And iguana.